Hello everyone, welcome back to another Nemo Ding video. In today's video, we are back on the grind to building the CC5 thing. Today, we won't be starting a new part or continuing the mine part, but instead working on this part right here, the first part. I feel like there has to be something done with the first part, with these back middle ground things. I'd call them middle ground things, but they're really just to connect a thing that's floating with the ground or another structure in the bottom. So I don't know what it's called. It's a connecting structure. I decided to fix these connecting structures, get rid of some repetitiveness, add some more mountains, and just overall make the first part way more interesting and way less repetitive and monotonous. I started off by removing the brick background or the connecting structure, and instead of brick, I decided to make it wood because really my actual structure was already some sort of brick or some sort of rocky thing. It's already depleted of color. So if you have another thing that's even more depleted, even more unsaturated of color, it just doesn't really look good or look nice. So I decided to do this masking effect that Jamatek did in his level, the Cellar Path. Here's an image of it. It's also the first part of the Cellar Path where he used this masking type thing. It's pretty unique. It's really smart of Jam to figure this out, and it's just great. All I have to do next was make some variants here and there, and then warp them, and just give them some more variants, I guess, around the other places that needed these connecting structures, and it was great. Although there was a little bit of layering issues, it was pretty easily fixable by just fixing the layer. After that, I decided to hold up these floating crystals with some rock structures. It took up only about 160 objects, so I would say it's pretty low detail. I guess I can kind of cancel it out with the future with low detail mode. I like to do that in the future. When I'm done with the level, I get rid of all the stuff for low detail mode. But yeah, this was for the crystal to make it not floating, right? Floating crystals doesn't really make sense. And this gives a lot more realism, physics, I guess you can say, to the level. Now, I didn't do it day one, but I also decided to remove all of these structures as well. These, I guess you can say, foreground structures as well. It just doesn't really fit, and they just feel really repetitive. So I would make some more interesting ones that are different from the first. I know, I improved a lot from before. Now I decided to work on the mountains. The mountains really look very static in the background, and I kind of wanted that at first, and it doesn't really look that, I guess, masked or like just there, and to fill up space at the beginning, it looked kind of good, but then I was like, everything else has a parallax to it. It has movement to it, and it looks nice. It makes sense and stuff. But the background is just there. So I decided to make some subtle movement to it, and well, broke up the I made the parallax even better. So that was great. But no, why stop there? We can also make some really interesting snow on these mountains. And, well, it's really not that hard. You just copy the mountain cap and then start adding some extra slopes here and there to kind of just make the impression of snow. It's not that hard. It's a color switcher and a half. That's what it is. It's awesome. simple, and it adds so much more character, detail, and just amazingness. After this mountain cleanup, I would say, there was also a lot less mountains, which I wasn't really proud of because it left like a lot of empty space, I would just say. So I decided to use these old objects that you used to build with map packs with, because these are literally objects you find in literally every single map pack, to blow across the screen. Really low opacity though, so you kind of see it, but you kind of don't see it. You know what I'm saying? It adds a little bit of a breeze to the screen, and it just fills up a lot more, and it makes, like, I don't know, it kind of feels like dust in the air in some way. Day 2 did see me kind of changing this into a much more dusty form, less than, just a bunch of 1.9 blocks, so that was way better. Well, you'll have to wait for day 2. And, well, day 1 was pretty much finished with only a 30-minute section. Day 2 of fixing my first part for the Gemtech CC5, I decided to fix these disgusting rock things that I somehow built and felt great with back when. So, first of all, that's stupid. It looks disgusting, like your mother. And second of all, it just, third of all, it just really dumb. And after tweaking a little bit, this was what it looked like. It was pretty good, 14 objects only, and I was pretty proud of it. Now, for the last thing of this video, I decided to create one of those rusty kind of slate of metal you would find in like one of those shipment containers, like cargo containers, those like big rusty. Here's some images on screen if all the adjectives I'm using to describe it isn't enough. There's like these big sheets of metal that are curvy. I decided to make those. It was pretty easy, yet hard because of layering. And instead of making it look like a curtain, like a movie theater curtain or your curtain at your house, to make it look very scratched up and metallic. At the end, they were okay, and I just kind of spammed it all over the place, as I usually do. Copy and paste, W button, burn me at the stake, I don't really care. And that was what it looked like. I would say it's a W design, because, well, it's different from all the others, and it still maintains the Jam Attack vibe that achieves what it is supposed to look like, but in like a cartoon filter type thing. You can see it in the trees I built on screen, you can see it in the rock I built on screen, you can see it on the kind of wooden plank I built on screen. It's all just really cartoony, yet it gets the job done correctly. Same thing with these iron things, you can see that. I would say it's pretty nice. It's not the best, but you can't always be the best. And so for variation's sake, I also decided to add some other stuff into the mix, such as these wooden plank boards, I decided to call them now, to the other ones. Every other one, or every other one, I would add these planks instead of those metallic sheets. The metallic sheets is really just to signify that you're entering a cave, but then the wooden thing is signifying you're still kind of in nature, but not quite all industrialized and stuff. Here is the showcase.